that before.
Hi.
All right, and here we go. The robots are talking to us on this fine Tuesday morning. There is a lot to talk about. I'm going to predict that within about 3 hours from now, Phish will make a big announcement because that's what they tend to always do. We recorded last week, Tuesday morning? Did we do Tuesday last week? We did, right?
Tuesday. Dude, are you new to this? We've been doing Tuesday every week.
Well, every now and then we shift to Wednesday, but yeah, we did Tuesday morning, and then literally hours later, Phish finally, after dangling the carrot for what felt like an eternity, dropped the bomb about delayed summer tour, rescheduled dates, sort of a fall West Coast tour, culminating in a 4-day Halloween Vegas run. The Phish world has been set afire. Lots to talk about, man. What are your first thoughts and reactions?
My first thought, and I wrote about it in yesterday's email, was we are banking on it being canceled.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy to eat those words. I am super glad, and I thought about it. There's a great meme right now about like all these children lined up like at glass, like looking out at the playground, and it's Canada, and the quotations are Canada looking at the rest of the world opening up.
Yeah.
So, although there might not be Phish tour for us, there is a Phish tour which I am tremendously grateful for. I picture myself, because we're going to do the couch tour.
Yeah.
I picture myself getting very emotional when they step back on stage for the first show. I think it's going to be quite a moment.
Yeah, it's very interesting. They're going to be in Arkansas, which they've never been to. Evidently, they've never been to the state, and they're going to kick off the tour with it. And yeah, I think as we inch closer to that, once the calendar ticks over into July, and we get past the 3 nights in SPAC that Trey has in mid-June, I think with each passing day, the excitement's going to build. I've seen like the community's come alive again, right? It was just sort of, we were just rolling in the doldrums looking for any little thing to kind of grasp onto. And yeah, finally. And
it was worse. Hold up. It was worse than that. Like people were starting to get pissed off. Like somebody would post like, the picture of like the clouds on one side and the clear sky on the other side, and they'd say something about divided sky. Like people would get like nasty in the comments, like, settle down, bro. We're just trying here, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, where do we want to begin? I mean, what are you, I guess, generally we're very excited, but as we sort of narrow in on the announcement and kind of, wrong app there. What are you most looking forward to? Is it Halloween? Is it the first show? Is it a certain run? Anything like that?
I'm most looking forward to the excitement around there being new music to listen to, and to know that just even if we can't go, that the guys are doing their thing. And there's music. There's going to be music. It's like that line from the Grateful Dead song. There's going to be songs to fill the air, and that's enough. And that's enough for me, man. What about you?
So I'm looking ahead. I agree. Although it looks like we've had a minor setback. For those that don't know, we were booked to go to the Hershey shows, and they rebooked into Hershey Stadium and immediately canceled and refunded the tickets. And damn it, Ticketmaster and their service fees! I lost out on $65. What I was charged and what I was refunded, $65 difference. Either that, or it had to do with the strength of the Canadian dollar, in that it's a lot higher in value now than it was when I bought the ticket. So that might have something to do with it. So I would say we're 90% down and out, but there's still a glimmer of hope. Yeah. I'm really thankful, though, to get back to your question. I am excited to be able to listen and watch with you on Couch Tour and experience some of it. It's sort of disappointing that the first show of the tour is a Wednesday night. Sort of a bummer, but we'll figure that out. But when I'm looking at the tour here, because I do want to go through it, you got July 28th at the Walmart Amphitheater, which I think is very new in Arkansas, followed by the 30th and 31st and 1st, basically in one show in Alabama, and then two in Alpharetta. I think that'll be an interesting weekend because it's going to be 3-4 shows in. Things will be kind of settling down be working through the set list to see what other surprises are left to have happen that first weekend. But I think that'll be really exciting. The 3-night run, which is what we got, August 6th, 7th, 8th, in Deer Creek. That'll be exciting, right? Especially night number 2, as we all know, the Saturday night's going to be awesome. So keep your ears peeled, keep your ear peeled to August 7th. What else we got? And then we got, we're going to go to Hershey, which is still a possibility, just depends. Sounds like there's a lot of tickets available for that because of the increase in size of the venue. They're going from basically a smaller minor league hockey arena that seats about 15,000 to a stadium that's much, much larger. So the availability might be a bit better there. Sounds like, according to the chats, a lot of people are planning a Hershey into Atlantic City run for that whole week.
Makes sense.
Right, to be able to knock out 5 shows over the course of about 6-7 days is pretty awesome. Yeah, I kind of like how it's segmented and broken up in these little twos and threes, which is very much how Trey plays his music and does his solos. Always those combinations can make it fit in any sort of mathematical equation, 2s and 3s. And then the big weekend in the Gorge. So the 27th, 28th, 29th of August. Where are you sitting with that? I mean, you guys had booked to go to the Gorge. What's up? Is that an option? Is it 50-50? Where do you sit?
So I don't know. That's a good question. They moved the dates. So before the dates didn't work, but now it's in August. I don't know. Maybe I should check the tickets because I don't think.
Look at you. Get on it. Yeah. So that's August 27th, 28th, 29th, the weekend before Labor Day weekend. And then going back to Tahoe for a couple days midweek before the perennial Dick's run over Labor Day weekend, which everybody's always excited about. I think we'll find a way to couch tour one or two of those shows, perhaps. And then this sort of wraps it up for about a month and a half. And then we get into fall tour, which is essentially a West Coast tour that builds throughout. I mean, you've got, what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shows between the 15th of October and the 26th. And then 4 nights in a row in Vegas. October is going to be packed. Like, it's going to take us till December to listen to all of it, for crying out loud.
But you never replied to my message that our drummer, he wants to get married. I sent you a message. So the guy that plays drums with us, him and his now girlfriend have they've always wanted to go to Vegas, to kind of run away to get married.
Cool.
And he's like, I'm not against tying it to a Phish show, for Halloween.
Yeah, I couldn't. Timing with my job just this year, other things. I wish there was a 4-night thing that just worked out better, to be honest with you. Is he going to do the run, or is he still up in the air? I wonder how tough tickets to get to that.
Still up in the air, dude. Listen, man, it's hard when we don't know what rules. We have leaders in legit quotation marks. We have no fence posts to aim for here.
Yeah.
How many cases are we aiming for? How many % of the population need to have the vaccine before we can get at it? We have no markers.
Yeah. It's obviously a really, really big gamble. We don't know. And a lot can change.
For the people listening, here's the scientific, and this was announced. This came out of the dog's mouth. We're not allowed to play golf in Ontario. Here's the scientific rationale from our premier, because he knows how him and his buddies play golf and they pick each other up. So that's why we can't play golf.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I'm not lying. That's the reason. and then they have the audacity to tell us to follow the science. I agree. Let's follow the science. We should be living based on what the data says, not your opinion. Not your opinion. So again, it's hard to, my point is, as I'm venting a little bit, it's hard to plan when you don't know, which of these backwards rules are going to be the ones being enforced.
Right. Yeah. And we don't know how free we're going to be to travel. So
we don't even know what the cases and the numbers are going to be. It could be worse. We could be back on lockdown knowing things. So
yeah. Good news is, as long as the internet doesn't go down, we can get a taste of it. we can still experience it
Thank
to a
you.
degree and gab about it and yenter it up like we always do. So I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, seeing some of the newer songs make their way in there. Some of the newer stuff that Trey has been putting out. Will he bring in any of the Lonely Trip stuff? Will Mike bring over anything from Noon? I don't think anything from Page's solo album is gonna make it into the Phish set list, but hey, you never know. At least off his recent album, I should say.
If it does, it'll probably come in like a transition or part of a jam.
Yeah. I did something fun last week, which just got me thinking about the next question is I think we're due for maybe one for sure. I think I would allow the second if it's really, really good. A new cover tune to make it into the regular rotation. It's been a while since a new cover tune has come along that's sort of made its way into the every 4, 5, 6 shows type of a rotation. And listening to the Golden Age stuff last week got me thinking about that. But I also I don't know if you've ever done this. I made a playlist on my phone with the original songs of all of the Phish covers that I could find and played them back and really surprised with some of the much older folky tunes like Timber, hearing songs like that. But yeah, it just got me thinking, and obviously with Halloween looming, we're going to talk about that. I'm sure we're going to talk about it a lot this year as everybody will hype that up. But I think it's time. I think it's time to bring us something new. And evidently, we're in the 4.0 era, so a lot of questions without answers at this point.
It's funny because you bring up the covers a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. I don't know how many, but there's definitely been one or two songs that Phish have covered that I actually thought were original songs because they were so old
Right,
that I would have never,
like Nelly Kane.
like Nelly Kane, like My Soul.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, um, trying to think of there's one or two more. There's some of them that I you could tell they were covers, like they just because they just didn't sound like anything Phish would ever write.
Like Boogie on Reggae Woman.
No, I think Phish could write a song like that, but I'm specifically mean like Back to the Chicken Shack, like that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that just seems like a song that like that it's a cover because it seems so out of what the band would write.
hmm hmm hmm
You know,
Gotcha. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. I mean, Trey's got his new Languedoc. He's going to be busting out, no doubt. Um, yeah. I'm just excited to see it. I'm just excited to
oh,
see it. Yeah.
I listened to, I don't know how it came on. I don't know where it came on. I think it was my phone. You know how sometimes like random shit just starts playing on your phone?
Mm-mm.
Anyways, it does on my phone. It does on my phone. Maybe because the kids are like just high, giving her and leaving
Yeah.
stuff on all over the place. But Forward People, that song by Trey came on again.
Mm,
I don't know. It's growing. I didn't mind it.
mm. Yeah. Speaking of Trey, I'm about halfway through his Rubber Jungle show from Friday night. Was able to finally somebody on Reddit was awesome and recorded it using an app and posted it and made it available for people. Which thank you so much for that. I'm about halfway through it. It's kind of gets me excited for the tour, especially his little improv track going on tour. That you can just tell. I mean, it's listed on Fishnet as a debut, which I guess technically it is. It's a song that's new, that's never been played before. But it's about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of him just sort of riffing, talking about being excited about going back on tour. And like that alone, although it was just him and an acoustic, it just sounded great. It just
I'm
gets me excited.
always, uh, I'm always, um, I love watching people react to somebody who is just so in love and joyous about what it is that they're doing.
hmm
There's something just really pure and beautiful about it, and it draws people to him, man. It's hard not to get excited when you see him get excited.
Yeah, yeah, I feel similar about the drummer in Dave Matthews Band, like Carter Beauford. He's just got a personality and a way about him. Like you can tell he loves doing that more than anything else, playing the drums. And people watch him play. Many people that I brought to Dave shows over the years would always leave going, "Wow, that drummer like just was like a magnet for people." And they really showcase him well, right? Kind of like how Rush would showcase Neil Peart. What else do I have on my list here? Because I've got more. Where's my little menu here? What did I do with it? So many things going on my phone. Um, American Dad. You happen to watch that, right? You caught it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally watched it last night. I kept forgetting and putting it off and forgetting, and I finally sat down to watch it. I didn't realize that the show's been on 17 years.
I had the exact same reaction. I'm like, people have,
Holy moly!
I'm like, this show is popular enough that we're almost at 20 years of this.
Yeah, well, the Simpsons are approaching 40, if not already in the 40th year, or about to be
Okay,
this
but The
fall.
Simpsons are a good show, Adam.
Yeah, no, I know,
American
evidently.
Dad is not a good show.
Well, so you know what's funny is I hadn't really watched it forever. I think I watched it when it first came out, maybe first two, three episodes, and was like, okay, this isn't for me. So did you watch the entire episode, beginning to end?
I did.
So I skipped through the story that had nothing to do with Fish. Like I skipped through the whole escape room thing. I was watching it on my computer. I just sort of scrolled through those scenes because it didn't matter to me, right? Like to be honest with you, I just wanted to see if there was going to be any music from Fish, which there wasn't. So clearly they didn't get permission. They just weaved and woven in a bunch of jokes and inside things. I thought it was pretty clever. Should have really counted the amount of references that were dropped in there subtly, right?
You
The
see,
license
if you want to see
plate.
something, if you want to see something cool, find a still of the van when they pull
Yeah,
up. And like the stickers on it are the best.
yeah.
Mike,
I should
Mike
find
says
the
no. Mike says no was one. Save Gamehendge was another one.
Yeah, I should find the writer's name and give him credit, but he posted like an image of that van a couple weeks ago. Yeah, there's something about, gophers from what happened at Dick's a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of neat stuff in there. There's a car in the background, license plate said Wilson. Um, the dog, obviously, that's Runaway Jim, the one's humping everybody's leg. Uh, the, the nitrous, which I guess Canada, we're not big for the nitrous up around here, but I guess that's a
No,
staple.
no shit. Every American show, it's awesome. It is a staple. So is like the parking lot scene. Remember when we went? It was like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Where is everybody?
yeah, nothing, no circus at all. Um, so yeah, that was a fun little gag, and actually Megan kind of came in and watched it for about half of a minute and chuckled and walked away. It was great.
Oh, she didn't come in at like the most awkward part.
No, not this time. Not this time. It's been a while since that's happened, thankfully. Um, Although it's funny, she and I rather, we were discussing the Bader. Hope I get this right. Baader-Meinhof. Do you know what the Baader-Meinhof syndrome is?
It sounds familiar, but I can't recall. So I'm going to say no.
So the most basic example would be you pick out a car, you buy a car that's unique and you like it, and you start driving that car, you get that car, and then what happens? You see that car everywhere you go.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't know that it was called that.
Yeah, there's another term for it, but it's commonly referred to as Baader-Meinhof. I was talking about how I'm getting Baader-Meinhof with Scent of a Mule ever since that conversation when you brought up that Rochelle didn't like it and we played that little guessing game. I don't know if it's just where I'm listening in 2011 where that song is being played a lot more frequently, but I feel like I'm hearing that song way more frequently than I ever have ever since that conversation. And I'm wondering if it's Baader-Meinhof or if it's a reality. I should probably
Well,
look at the stats to really determine that.
I think that there is a, and again, I don't know the names of these things, but what I've noticed from listening is things tend to come in patches. Like when you hear a song, you'll hear it a bunch for a while, and then they'll just never play it again. Like for me, it's Simple right now. The last
Mm,
I don't know what it is, 6 or 7 shows, all of them have had Simple.
yeah,
Don't mind it, but there's
sure.
certain songs that like I haven't heard in forever. I haven't heard Bathtub Gin in forever. I haven't heard Down with Disease forever.
Oh, see, I hear those. I'm hearing those a lot because again, I'm listening to 2011, June 2011, which is going great. I'm on the last show before Super Bowl now. So Super Bowl will probably get started tonight or tomorrow. But I'm hearing a lot of Down with Disease, specifically second set opener. It's like it's almost predictable. Like if I haven't heard that song in a couple shows, I know it's going to open a second set. Carini's making its way back in more. I'm hearing a lot of that. But funny enough, no Simple. They're not really playing that right now. At least not quote unquote
So
10 years ago.
I wanna kind of challenge your middle night prop your the middle night's the best night.
Oh,
I
okay.
want to I want to expand it a little bit
Right.
because I think it's always I think it's the show before a really famous show, or maybe this is a different thing. Like go back and listen to, so 11/17/97 is that really famous show from Denver.
Yeah.
My recommendation for you is to go back to listen. I just finished it this morning. Is to go back and listen to 11/16/97.
Okay. That's on
From
re-listen.
It's on re-listen.
Okay.
It's the first night from McNichols Sporting Arena in Denver.
Okay.
The second night, the 17th, is like, probably arguably one of the best first sets in Phish history. But the second set of the show that I'm recommending, the 16th,
Forget about it.
yeah, and like they open with a song, and the best is like, I don't want to spoil it because you haven't listened to it. You'll probably listen to it soon, but like they open with a song, and it kind of meanders, and you're like, what? It's one of those like, what are we doing here? And then they hint at another song, and it goes into another song, and it's just kind of blast off from there.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for that. About the show leading up to the big show or the middle night thing. And I remember listening to, I forget what it was, but it was a podcast, and they were going deep on the fall '95 tour, like the winter, like building up to the New Year's Eve show. Yep. And they were talking about how these shows on like the Tuesday and Wednesday night that a lot of the fans would skip because it didn't make sense to go. They had jobs or going to the weekend gigs. They ended up being some of the highlights of that tour. The ones where the expectations were much, much lower. They were in, the towns that, don't draw as much excitement, but that for whatever reason, relaxed the band, felt more like an off night, let looser, rather so to speak, and end up having some amazing shows. So there's something there.
Knowing them, it's like they do this shit on purpose. Hey, yeah, we're gonna get everybody super excited that we're back on tour, and where are we gonna go? Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas. I always wondered as a kid. The first time I learned that it was pronounced Arkansas was watching the Final Four basketball tournament in like the early '90s, and Arkansas was a powerhouse. Yeah, and going, Dad, why do they call it Arkansas? There's a state called Kansas and a city called Kansas City. Anyway, strange.
In Missouri.
Oh, it'll be a cold day in hell before I recognize Missouri.
There's only 49 stars on that flag.
Oh, Simpsons. It always comes back to the Simpsons. So yeah, man, lots going on. So I don't want to say we're down and out. We can kind of clutch onto a little bit of hope, but that's all we can really do at this point. It is what it is. Mm-hmm.
For the tour, you mean?
Yeah.
We're not down and out yet. I mean, with the biggest thing is they're on tour and there is a tour. That was kind of like the biggest thing.
Mm. Do you think we'll see a release before the tour? You think there's a chance of that?
Like new music?
Yeah. No. Nah.
I don't. What would be the point of doing that?
Well, it's Phish. Doesn't matter. What's the point of any? Like it all revolves around their live shows anyway. Whether they drop an album today, tomorrow, next year, doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. It doesn't.
But what would be? Here's my point. So you have new music. Like when have they ever debuted new music on an album? Like other than during this period when you couldn't do it live.
Yeah.
Right. Like everything else has come out live.
Yeah, even Joy in 2009, right, came out later in the year.
Yeah.
They were playing those songs. In the summer. Might be onto something there, Juggy. But all right, well, either way, I'm just saying, who knows? Maybe they'll put something out.
Like I can comfortably predict we're going to get a lot of. I bet you they're going to debut a lot of new music.
I think so. What about? I think it's obvious, but is Dinner and a Movie done? Are they going to do one more, or is this it? Do they go out with a bang and say, "Hey, now that we're back on tour, we're going to do one last one, and it's going to be all of the great went, boom, have it"? Wouldn't that be great? That's wishful thinking.
That's super wishful thinking.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know, man. I
wonder
what would be the harm in keeping it going.
Agreed. Or at least in the months that they're not touring,
Yeah.
You know, if you supplement, nothing in October because clearly they're pretty much playing 8 days a week. But yeah, we'll see. I mean,
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm trying to use logic here, but like I also see no logic in like Trey doing a concert that's unavailable for Phish fans in a paywall while Sirius gets to have it. Like I'm really missing it here.
yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows when the lawyers get involved and they put all those agreements on paper? I don't know.
All I know is that Sirius owned none of the music until Phish signed their name on a line, and now Sirius owns some of the music.
They
That's all
must,
I'm saying.
yeah, or somehow have like a first access on certain things for it.
Yeah,
'Cause I
not
think it'll eventually get on there. It'll just quietly pop up,
yeah.
right? I'll keep searching for the 2021 stuff to see when it does drop. Right now, the only thing in 2021 is The Last Dinner in a Movie. It's still up on there. You can watch it on the app. I think it's on YouTube too still. So yeah, I'd like them to go out with a bit of a bang, or maybe they could use it as a tool to celebrate anniversaries of shows. When an anniversary comes around of a somewhat famous one, they can use that way to promote it or cross promote it with a live release that'll hit the app. And I don't know, right? I think there's a number of things they could do. They'll figure it out.
The more the better, man. The more I love the video. I think watching them on video is awesome,
Mhm.
and that's why I'm excited. It's gonna be the first tour where like my wife's on board and like is like excited to like actually watch it when it comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. Halloween, I'm really excited for too. It's first one in 3 years and a lot of questions. I know we won't even talk about it now because we'll talk about it closer to then, but we'll
We're
see.
talking about it both.
What's that?
Just theories, man. We're just shooting the shit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But that's what's so great about the band is that they give us something to talk about like this. It isn't just, oh, they're going back on tour. Cool. Well, after the first show, we'll know what the set list is for the whole tour. Awesome. It's not like that. It's great. There's surprises. There's something around another corner, and there's
Ooh.
yeah, I think it's awesome. I
Well,
think
think
it's
about
awesome.
like what other like how other bands do it, right? Like
Mhm.
you're excited to see 20 shows of the same band.
Right. But they're not the same 20 shows.
That's right. They're not the same 20 shows. And you
Right.
know there's going to be surprises and you want to experience the surprise versus when Rage Against the Machine, don't get me wrong, I love Rage Against the Machine, but when Rage Against the Machine came to, when they announced that their tickets were going to go on sale, people were like, oh, I'd like to go see Rage Against the Machine. And that was it. And you knew that if you saw Rage Against the Machine, maybe you could go back if you're a diehard fan, you'd go back for like the second night further down the road in Toronto. But after that, you were good and they go on to their next city and it's over.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, well, that's what most bands do,
Of
right?
course. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, it is awesome that our band doesn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, lots to look forward to. Really exciting stuff. So that's everything I had this week, my man. Anything else from you?
Like I said, buddy, words I'm glad to eat. There is a tour, and I'm happy to eat those words.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. All right, friends. Make sure you rate and review. Send us a note. Let us know how you like the show,
Or
and
not. Or not. That's cool too.
or not, whatever. Hey, but you know what? If you don't like it, we're gonna keep doing it, and you can just not listen if that's
No, troll us. Are you kidding me? Trolling would be awesome.
that's true.
Then we can rally the troops.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, speaking of which, let me just for the sake of fun,
Yeah.
if you're interested about how trolling rallies the troops. Let me read to you. So I recorded, and this is for the benefit of the people who have listened this long who are actually watching on video. I recorded this video. It's my Facebook ad about an exercise for shoulder and thoracic spine.
Okay.
A guy comments, "Those are some special kind of socks. First prize. Nerd alert." Better. I comment back. I'm like, huh? My socks make me a nerd? I'm definitely a nerd, but super interested in how my socks help. He, com- he comments back. Um, you are what you wear. If you think those socks look good, but I don't even understand this, Adam. I still don't understand. Put some sandals on too to complete your look. I'm like, thanks for the fashion advice. Some guy out of nowhere comments, His name's Kelly, the guy that made those fashion comments. Kelly, if you are what you wear, then you must be made of grease with that greasy hair. Some other lady comments, Christopher Jug, very helpful video. Will pass along the info. By the way, clothes don't make the man. Laugh out loud. Any woman knows that. Love the socks.
Wow.
People come to your aid, man. That's all I'm saying. So if you want to troll and help us build an audience, because some people will love us, you go right ahead and troll away.
Yep, it's all good. So with that, trolls, have a great week. Until next time, have a good one.